This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News, news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Hello, Brother Gregory, you there?
I'm here. Yep.
Yes, sir. We already found out that what you said to me not too long ago has caused a firestorm of controversy. Within 24 hours, it went viral via YouTube. Yes. A lot of major media outlets have picked up the story about your critique of Django Unchained and also your criticism of Brother Spike Lee, calling him out on not being open-minded to seeing the movie. So I'm just following up with you and see what went on after the video and the interview was released. What happened to you in that span of 24 or 48 hours?
Well, no, I mean, it's just the people's calling. Press people are calling. They're asking me questions about stuff, and so somebody asked me about the dolls that they pulled off the market, Django dolls, and I said, well, hey, I got nothing wrong with that. People got a right to protest anything they want. I said, but maybe I should go downstairs and look into my little place where I keep all my old stuff and get rid of my buckwheat doll. Get rid of my Angel Mama doll. See, the difference is this. And see, y'all right up there on the cutting edge. I mean, people with shows like, let me tell you what. 150 years ago, if you were to try to convince people that one day horses would be obsolete, they'd put you in a mental hospital, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you would have been able to tell somebody one day that piece that you put out there, you could reach in your hip pocket and pull your phone out and do that. It ain't connected to nothing. So the whole paradigm done shifted. The whole paradigm has shifted. Now, when I talk about black folk calling up, I don't have no problem with that. But what day are you going to hear black folk call up and say, why do I have to send my children to the military when police brutality will kill my children? I come back from the front line to the funeral and go back. Now, name me somebody else that would think like that, huh? Name me. My mama. Thou shalt not kill. And one day I asked the little boy, why do we have war? Well, the Bible said there be wars and rumors of war, huh? Mm-hmm. And so I can understand that because we come out of slavery. You see, let's say that you are the 5th generation of the ancestors, right? You, 5th generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that farm that you all own back there at the 1st generation, you still own it now, okay? Why? You just transfer the deed from that name to you. You're the survivor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the stuff we go through gets transferred. Don't think because you got 5 PhDs and you ain't black, you ain't got that slave mentality. Listen, I knew a doctor friend of mine in Chicago, successful. Father died, heart attack. The mother put 5 boys through school, med school, all 5 of them.
Mm.
Williams Clinic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mother has a heart attack one day. Dr. Williams gets in his Rolls Royce. He's at a party, right?
Mm-hmm.
With his wife. On his way to the hospital, because they said, get here quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had to have his white-complected black wife slide down on the floor because he didn't want the white racist police to see him, the Rolls Royce, and see her thinking she's white and thinking he's a pimp. Huh?
Mm.
So when do you get free? Huh?
Mm.
We take movies. Let me tell you the greatest movie you'll ever have. You see, they have liberated thousands of people from death row because of DNA, okay?
Mm-hmm.
DNA wasn't just invented when white folks understood the science. DNA was here the first day the universal God put humans on the planet, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Animals got DNA, okay? And so when you stop and think about, that all of this stuff that's out here, like movies, it's been here before. Hollywood just found a way to put it in the film and put it in front of me. You are a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my children, my grandchildren, let me tell you, you can't wipe out history when it's so big. You can't wipe out nigger. You just relegate it to a small role in your movie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
If I tell my granddaughter, look, I'm your grandfather. If I raped you when you was 5 years old, you can never wipe that out. But you relegate it to a bit part. You don't make it the strongest thing in your movie. So then you messed up for the rest of your life, huh? You cannot forget it. You're some kind of nut. But you give it a bit. Look, I'm 80 years old. When I was a little boy, we go to the movies. You know what they put in the movies? In the black folk wasn't in no movie. You know what they put in the movies, man, and their contract? If this woman is the glamorous star of the show, you can't put nobody in here that's more glamorous than her. Okay? That was in the contract. So and when somebody tells you, say, wait a minute, hold it. Wow. My daddy raped me when I was 5 years old. I can't wipe that out, but at least I cannot let it dominate my movie. You put it in a bottom part. Don't wipe it out, but reel it again. And so this is one of the things that will happen in relegating this vicious white racist system. When I can go to the movie and people can talk about, now you got black women that feel bad. They don't feel bad about Tyler Perry, huh?
Right.
They don't feel bad about Tyler Perry. Here's a black man, huh? He ain't ugly enough to be a black man. It's a black woman, huh? Okay? And we flock to see it. Oh, my God. And then when Tyler Perry do that straight movie where he's a CIA agent. Huh?
Yeah, Alice Cross, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, the movie didn't stay in 3 days. Huh? White America don't want to see you as an agent. Boy, be a woman. Put a dress on. Huh? Be like Flip Wilson and the rest of them. Dress up like a woman and talk. Well, there's an audience for that, huh? There's an audience for cheap wine. There's an audience for crack, huh?
Right.
But don't nobody try to justify it. Never heard nobody on TV say, yeah, man, I drink cheap wine. I wake up every day feeling good. Woo, huh? We know it, huh? I can't stop doing it, but we know it. And so when you sit and look at this movie, man, here's a guy that wrote a movie, man, and had a black slave woman, not the president of a black college, not the president of Brown University, black woman. Had a slave woman, man, a slave woman speaking German, huh? A slave woman, huh? But if she'd have been talking Tyler Perry stuff, if she'd have been talking that old crazy talk, huh? It would have been okay. She'd been bucking her eyes and going through all of them. There's a whole lot of slaves that didn't buck their eyes. Let me tell you something about Uncle Tom, man. A tomboy is a tough girl, right? A tomcat is a tough cat, right? When it comes my turn, it gets weak, huh? Every time is powerful except Uncle Tom. And I have to say kudos and hands off to Harriet Beecher Stowe, who wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. Huh? Uncle Tom's Cabin. And it went around the world. There was no book that was translated into a play that had as many companies around the world playing it, right? Now let's watch this. It gets to Siam. The king of Siam saw it, and he said, look, I'd like to put up the money and you do this as a musical. So we all go to the movie, and what do we see? We see a white dude with a bald head called Yul Brennan playing The King and I. That's Uncle Tom's Cabin as a musical, right? And see, my success has been that God has blessed me. My truth don't have to be worried by. My truth don't have to be validated by somebody else's ignorance. That's called the New York Times, the Washington Post, huh? And so, and so, I'm the one that put the research out. I've been out there for years. The first 8 presidents of the United States were black men, huh? So I don't need to prove nothing to you. Huh? I mean, that's what I don't understand about people who believe in God is upset about people who don't believe in God. And you think the universal God needs you to defend it? Huh? You get upset because you got doubts about some things you're scared to ask about. Huh? But don't nobody, God, that's like the president of Chase man hadn't need a welfare mother to defend him about how wealthy he is. Huh? And so we don't see this. We don't understand this because we come out of that one bag. And so let me go back to Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom is shapeshifters. And I used to hear black folks talk about it. Yeah, boy, some black folks in Africa, they better not mess with. Oh, they in certain places in Africa, white folk can't go. He said, I'll tell you something else, too. If folk can turn into gorillas, bears, and what I thought they meant they could just be strong, right? Wait a minute. So before I finish this, and I said about the first 8 presidents is black men. Well, how you prove? I don't need to prove none of you, but I'll prove it to my grandmother. I said, Grandma, you know, America's birthday is July the 4th, 1776. Oh, yeah, I know that, son. I said, you know, President George Washington never become president to 89. Oh, I thought he was the first. Well, everybody did. Okay. But check it out. He become president in 1789. I said, Grandma, here's what you do. When your son come home, have him get on the phone and dial 411 for information and ask for Washington, D.C., Georgetown, and the address to a pub called 1789. And when you get that, you don't do nothing. I just want to prove you the reason that's significant. That's the year George Washington became president. I said the other thing is that you cannot be a general without a president signing off on you. So how could George Washington be General George Washington before he was president? He was a general before he was president. And so there's a whole lot of things. Man, you got stuff going on in your house you hide from people. There's certain things your family talk about you wouldn't make public. But there's certain stuff that's out here you can just automatically see through. You can automatically see through. And so consequently, when you look at it, so all at once now, major newspaper called me and said, Mr. Gregory, we did this horrible editorial on you about John Hanson. I said, don't bother me. And then he said, well, we'd like to interview you. I do not need to be interviewed to be corrected by you. Huh? Oh, me, what's this about? Huh? I have people call me and say, Brother Greg, man, God, I got to apologize. 20 years ago I heard you speak, and I thought you was crazy. And now it just came out, and I said, well, I can still be crazy. Huh? See, you trying to justify yourself to say you thought I was crazy, but now you know I'm not crazy. People they can tell you anything. You got crazy preachers. You got crazy doctors. You got crazy school teachers. Okay? And so consequently, when you stop, now let's go look at Uncle Tom. Did you see the movie Men in Black?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you see the movie Independence Day?
Yes, sir.
That came out of Behold the Pale Horse, chapter 12. Huh? That came out. Have you ever read Behold the Pale Horse?
No, no, I haven't read it. I know it's William Cooper, right? That's the guy.
Yeah. And then I called Cooper about 2 days before they killed him. And his wife answered the phone. I said, your husband there? He said, yes. So you mean they ain't killed that punk yet? And she said, oh, Greg. I said, no. Call me back 2 days later. Said, you're right. They killed him this morning. Huh? Why did they kill him? Because he came out of military intelligence, and he not only knew the stuff that we know, because of his intelligence, but he knew how to articulate it. Huh? With September the 11th. You know, do you know in America, we never use a number for the month. We say September the 11th, October the 12th, December the 25th, right? Okay? Now, why did they use 911? because 911 tells the brain to be scared. Is that incredible? You walk in your house today and your mother's on the phone and you say, Mom, who you told? She said, I just dialed 911. See what happens to your face? Huh? That's what happens to the brain. And so consequently, when you look at the Uncle Toms were shapeshifters. Don't you remember in the movie Men in Black, when they used white boys to play the Men in Black before, and then halfway through the movie, Will Smith came in, right? Did you see Will Smith jumping on the walls, all of us out there in the tunnels? That's who we are, okay? That's who we are. When the French found out about it, they said voodoo. When talking about the Haitians, they voodoo. You know what the word voodoo mean in French? Spiritual atom. You can't see a spirit and you can't see an atom. But then people sit around and talk about voodoo is negative. You know, it's just like a morgue. Morgue. That's the French word, morgue. When you think of morgue, what do you think about?
What is it again? Mars?
Morgue. The morgue. Going to the morgue.
Oh, I think about death. I mean, going to see dead bodies.
That's what the French coined a mortgage, a death note.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
You see, you go buy a $400,000 house now with a 30-year mortgage. For the first 20 years, you ain't paying nothing but interest. That's a death note. Don't anybody buy that stuff but a fool. Super rich people don't buy no property. That's a game. Huh? That's a game. And if you did buy it, you pay cash for it. So you duck all this. That's why they don't want to sell houses. Okay. And so consequently, when you sit and you look, and so here's what they would do. Nobody's going to steal a 75-year-old. Right? Nobody's going to steal an 80-year-old man to be a slave, right? So they were not being taken. So they've turned invisible and slip on the slave boat, huh? And the black folks knew who they were, huh? You knew who they were. And so consequently, when the boat got here, they would get off and they would space themselves 75 miles apart. They didn't need to eat. You serious? And so consequently, if you a slave and the white man came out there and grabbed your wife, they do that. You ain't gonna do nothing because if you did, you're gonna get other slaves killed, huh? But he grabs your daughter and you forget and kill him, right? And the black folks would make a sound. See, a butterfly can fly all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, all the way across the Pacific Ocean, but the bald eagle can't make that trip. Okay? The bald eagle cannot make that trip. And so consequently, why can they do that? Because they follow the wind current. You follow me? They follow the wind current, huh? So they know how to follow the wind current, and the method used in, it'll go 200-300 miles away, huh? Have you seen the research they got now? When you sneeze, it's traveling 100,000 miles an hour, huh?
Oh, wow.
Okay? And so consequently, after you realize you made that mistake and kill that white boy, and it's going to get other black folk killed, huh? Then when they get the message, they come to that slave tent, right? And they take that white boy, eat him up, bones, clothes, hair, and all the blood on the ground. They the vacuum cleaners, huh? That's what an Uncle Tom is. So I got to make you believe Uncle Tom is something negative, huh? Something negative. So then when white folks started getting hip to it, they said they started looking to see if they could find somebody strange on the boat, right? But you couldn't look like you were 75 because ain't nobody going to take a 75-year-old slave, okay?
Right.
And so when they thought they could kind of mix, they started putting them off in Haiti. That's where all that magic come from. They didn't get them all, but that's what happened. And so when Napoleon, the greatest army in the world, with the greatest equipment in the world, they go in there and the Haitians wipe them out. And they said, wait a minute, what do you mean? He said, well, what they use? They said bamboo, sugarcane bamboo, and they found down spoons. Okay? So then the Army ain't qualified. Like so many Negroes be trying to figure they're not qualified. The Army is not qualified, so the French scientists came in and studied it. They said, oh, and that's why they coined the word voodoo, spiritual Adam. Huh? And then what they did is they said, okay, so they in America, they negotiated the truth, that the French would buy Haiti. You got to pay us. This is our colony. And so they said, what? They said, $4 billion. Well, where are we going to get this kind of money? They said, we want your trees. Your trees. Did you hear me? When you hear people talking about the most expensive antique furniture on the planet, ain't it French antique?
Right.
That's what they did with the trees they stole from them. They made some of the best furniture on the planet that's still in existence. That's why they have all that bad weather over there. They changed the ecology, okay? But that's who we are, and this boy knows that one day, things are going to happen different. Let me tell you about a black sister in America. A black woman can get mad at you, right? And she'll take a butter knife and go out and cut the tires off your rim. Now, okay, now we know. Now look, we ain't never heard no training where a sister can go, right? I mean, mama teach her how to cook this and teach her. You ain't never heard nobody teaching a black woman as a child how to take a knife that ain't even sharp with a little weak arm. I mean, these cars go all the way across the country. Tires go all the way across the country, man, with these big trucks. And she'll go out there, man, you come out there, ain't nothing but some rims, man. Okay? That's what's in her. That's what's in us, huh? That's what the house catch on fire. She run in to get the baby, not only the baby, but go get the baby's toys. And run out. And the farmer sitting there shaking their head. Oh, my God, did you just see that, right? But I can't let you know that. That's why I got to play her up as something strange. You're damn right. A lot of black women look different. Why? Because I'm not looking at a pure African woman. I'm looking at a fifth-generation child that comes from 5 generations of rape, okay?
Right.
So when I get raped, my hair come out just a little bit different, my skin come out just a little bit different, the vibration, they can't take it over. So then they taught me that I'm not supposed to look like that, or anything that looks like me is ugly, huh? And so it's just this whole game. And then it's the dishonesty. When we talk about black people complaining about movies and stuff, it ain't nothing but a giant movie, huh? And then history is what we should complain about. Where is the white woman in history, huh? I mean, did this boy come over here by himself? And so consequently, when you look at the lies that they tell us, relegate us down to, and you got Frederick Douglass have always qualified, but they got us believing, oh, Obama's the president of the United States, which is good, but he's not the first one that qualified.
Right.
He's the first one that could do that because all the black and a handful of decent white folks opened up the door where the thinking was different. And they ain't seen nothing yet. The Chinese still hate the Japanese because of that invasion in 1933. And the Japanese had instructions to their military. When you get over there in China, don't kill none of the old leaders. Every young Chinese boy you see, blow their brains out. Why? Tattoos. Every child you see with a tattoo on, kill them because tattoo represents revolution. And that's why as ignorant as America is, they don't know that, huh? They don't know what's fixing to happen to them. Have you ever bit your tongue?
Yes, sir.
You know how bad that hurts, right?
Oh, yeah, it hurts bad.
Wait a minute. These white children putting 5 and 6 and 20 screws in their tongue and they're not using painkiller. Huh? Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
That's where this thing is going. That's where it's going, and you're going to see all kinds of serious stuff happen. And ain't nobody gonna get mad but the ones who ain't. If 150 years ago me and you had the biggest horse farm in America, we'd be mad about one day an automobile gonna come and take us over. And so when you stop and think about Malcolm X, man, they scared everybody I knew. Oh, they used to sit and listen to it, but the way people look at pornography, Malcolm was sounding good, but white folks didn't know that. Oh, wait a minute. And now white folks put Malcolm on a stamp, and you ain't got a damn thing to say about it, This one that they taught you to hate, taught you to dislike, All the ones he's on the stamp. Your mama ain't on no stamp, The minister ain't on no stamp, So what is this about? And so consequently, when you sit and you look at the argument over this movie, I don't have no problem with my grandmother, being silly. She wouldn't have shown no problem with Spike Lee taking the movie, Malcolm, and making Malcolm look like a buffoon, She wouldn't have no problem with that. That's her mentality. That's her mentality. Let me tell you how black people. My mother did not come to my graduation, and I was the greatest thing that ever graduated from the high school, because I set the world record in the high school mile when Negroes wasn't able to run the long distance. I was the third fastest nation. I was the third fastest half mile in the nation. She didn't come. Why? She didn't want to embarrass me. She didn't have the proper shoes and the proper clothes. That's motherhood, man. I just don't want nobody laughing at him because the way I'm dressed, But then that's good. But then there's other things out here that they just see cool black folks. You see, thou shall not use God's name in vain. Okay? A violation. To use God's name in vain. So we thought it's God damn, because we didn't know God means power. Damn means to bottle up. So when your woman gets pregnant and she's in that little bag, that's the damn. And it's water in that bag. And then as it grows, that's God's creation. That's God's power. So we don't say God damn, but I say I am broke. When God's name is I am. I am. So when black folks, when they say the Lord's Prayer at the end, they say I am. Amen. You said I am. I am. That's the name of God. I am. So when you say I am broke, I am tired, you use God's name in vain, because God cannot be broke, God cannot be tired. And old black folks knew something. So they said, girl, we sure is tired. We sure got to get some money. We just thought they were talking bad English, right? And so all of this here now is about to be fleshed out, and you go through that. See, the one thing about a washing machine don't clean your clothes. It's the agitator. Okay, put your underwear in a washing machine and take the agitator out. All you're gonna end up with is some dirty, wet drawers. The agitator, And that's what the civil rights movement was. That's what the black folks who was out there, the Nation of Islam and this and that. We were the agitator, We ain't gonna get no new clothes. We're gonna clean these drawers up, And so you sit and you look and you look and you look. Black folks say, oh, y'all out there smoking and drinking. They're dipping snuff because they was too ignorant to know that snuff is a narcotic. Tobacco, They didn't know that. Black folks walking around spitting into buckets all over the house where children and people got to walk and all them germs coming out and all of that. And so consequently, what we're looking at, when you get a movie like this, they go to another level. They go to another level. They go to another level. And out of that, you walk out feeling good on letting your ignorance, and I'm not talking about ignorance like because you don't go along with the movie. No. My mama, she walks in your studio, and I think I told you this. You would think God just spit her out if she was alive today, just as gentle and peaceful. But if you try to convince my mama that Jesus Christ wasn't a Christian, she would stomp you to death. Why? Why would she? Because she didn't know Christianity never happened until 100 years after Jesus was dead. She didn't know Jesus' brother James. They murdered him the same way they murdered Jesus. She didn't know that King James Version, that's the only version she knew. And King James was honest, more honest than my mother. He didn't say it was Jesus' version, God's version, Buddha's version, Muhammad's version. He said, this is my version. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She didn't know King James was King of England. She didn't know that King James was such a weird, strange homosexual. He hated women so bad he killed his mama.
Mm-hmm.
And his lover was Lord Buckingham, who Buckingham Palace named after.
Right.
And so I'm talking about that type of ignorance that you just sit and pick up something. And so when you look at, what they tell us and all the things that they do, you ever been to a big cathedral?
Mm-hmm.
You ever see them goblins, those men with them wings on?
Yes, sir.
You ever see them little 2-year-old naked boys with angel wings? Not girls. They ain't got no naked girls. That's where pedophilia come from, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right? And yet and still we embrace that mess. I can go anywhere in the world today and see a prostitute, and that streetwalker, I can recognize her as a prostitute by the way she walked, the way she talked, the way she chew a gum, the way she will. But if I come to Memphis today and you introduce, if they don't tell me they're Christians, I don't know they one. How can I recognize a hoe by their demeanor, but I don't know you're a Christian till you tell me one? Huh?
Mm.
There's something wrong with that. Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
And so the great thing about truth in the world, it don't stop just because of somebody's ignorance. Somebody's been trained to believe something to enhance other people.
Mm.
And so consequently, I went to a high school called Sumner High School, Bulldogs. Well, did your school have a mascot?
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of it?
At first it was the Rebels, then they changed to the Wolverines.
Okay, the Rebels, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now, you know what you could not name that public school? The Sumner High School Green Jesus. Sumner High School White Jesus. Black Jesus. Why? Because the church in the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever seen a school named the Charles Sumner High School Red Devils?
Mm.
The
Blue
Devils?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I live in a Christian society. You can name a school after the devil, but you can't name it after Jesus. Huh?
Yeah, wow, that's powerful.
And then the Christians go to the game on Saturday and pull for the devil. Go, you devils. Go, you devils. Hey, Christians, who you for? The devils, huh? And the children come home with a helmet or a T-shirt on with a devil with a pitchfork, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody see anything wrong with that. And so all at once when somebody come through with a new breakthrough, so I don't have no problem with my grandmother calling me on the radio show and saying, I don't agree with you. Spare the rod and spoil the child. And they got us so ignorant, we don't know that's a story about a shepherd boy. Huh? The shepherd boy leads the sheep, but he has this stick in his hand, and it's called the rod. And when the sheep get close to the edge of the cliff, he just guides them. He don't hit them with it. My mama used to tell me, she said, a rich man, you tell them white folks she worked for a made a man. She come on, a rich man, the Bible says a rich man got as much chance of getting into heaven as a camel have through ivory needle. You ever heard that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, she didn't know that when you come out them old Arabian towns, them old towns, you come from one to another, the only reason you knew you was leaving one town, right, it had an arc. That's called a needle's eye. And so they say a rich man has as much chance getting into heaven as a camel had getting through eye of a needle. They didn't say it couldn't get through. They say the bigger the load, the more you got to stoop. Now, my mother went to her grave believing that a little bitty needle, which wasn't invented then. So when you sit and you throw it out there, I mean, you see it, but that don't count, And so consequently, where we going now is through shows like yours. There's 40,000 radio stations like yours. we don't depend on NBC and CBS and all that crazy like we used to.
Right.
And so consequently, when you see a movie that comes through like this here, wow. You know, it was a woman many years ago. She had a guy that lived with her, you know, her roommate, not lover.
Mm-hmm.
And he taught at the #1 school in the world. In the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he told her one day, said, your daughter, if she was a boy, she could run the world. She said, what do you mean? He said, well, I teach nothing but men. And I've been there like 20 years. I've never taught these rich children that's as smart as your daughter. So do you know what that woman did? She took her daughter out of school and kept her home for 2 years and raised her as a boy. And 2 years later, she went to get her in that school, and believing she was a boy and her aptitude, they put her in there. She grew up. She became the first woman pope in the history of the Catholic Church. Didn't nobody know this? Oh, she's a woman. Well, she got so comfortable, she thought she was free.
Mm-hmm.
She got pregnant and told folks she was pregnant. They stomped her to death on the balcony, okay? Okay, stomped her to death on the balcony. And so consequently, when you sit and you look at that's why you're supposed to be able to feel it. Don't nobody have to tell you your house is on fire. You can smell the smoke, huh?
Right.
You can feel the heat. Oh, where that heat coming from, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And so consequently, when your show, people will pick it up, dupe, and then they'll say, wow, I didn't, Jesus Christ, I'm not aware of that. Black men, black folks in America is 12% of America's population. That's it? 12% of America's population. Now, watch this now. Black folks in America, 87% of all people on kidney dialysis is black folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how can I be 12% of a population of 300 million, but 87% of kidney dialysis? It's why? Because what blows out your kidneys? Mean, nastiness, bitter, craziness, paranoia. That's what blows out your kidneys. Mm. What heals it? Not no machine. What heals it? Now, you know it ain't a black thing because they ain't got no kidney machines in Africa. Mm? Okay? Kind, gentle, peacefulness, huh? Mm-hmm. The stuff that we talk about, the Bible talks about, King talks about, right? Mm-hmm. And when you sit and look at people debating the movie, it was Spike Lee in there. Look how many people said nasty stuff about Martin Luther King. Look how many churches said nasty stuff about Martin Luther King. Look what the Muslims said. Malcolm X said, huh? What difference do it make, huh? And so consequently, that's what we looking at now as we go through the trauma. And if we stop to worry about, what it is, I don't know. Hey, but yet still, I can get on radio or TV and debate as long as it's a black person. Huh? As long as it's a black person, I can get on. I care about what you think about some movie. There ain't nothing but jive-ass movie stars. Huh?
Yeah. What I actually did is, I want to ask you, a fellow comedian, Cat Williams, I guess he sided with Spike Lee, and he said something to the effect that if Quentin Tarantino thinks he can say the N-word, but I check with all niggadom, and nobody knows where he got his pass from. I hope he didn't get it from Samuel L. Jackson and Jamie Foxx, because when they aren't going to help you when I see you. So he threatened to punch Quentin Tarantino when he saw him. And this is the comedian Cat Williams.
I'm sorry, did you hear me, Cat Williams?
Yeah, he said, you heard what I said?
Yeah, no, huh?
So he said, Cat Williams talked about Quentin Tarantino and Django Unchained.
I heard that. What do you expect out of crazy people? That's why if you're crazy and kill somebody, you can't get the electric chair. Huh? Mm-hmm. Crazy people have always had a past. Huh? Mm. So what do you expect out of him? You damn right he's crazy. He says all kinds. He's a brilliant comic, but he says all kinds and do all kinds of crazy shit. And all you got to do is punch up and see how many times he's resting, how many times he's waiting out for trial. Huh? So that's a game. That's a game they play. Huh? It look like, but we don't get the truth. This has nothing to do with what you just said me. But if you take Bishop Long, Reverend Long, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thought he got busted from homosexuality. Nobody care about you being gay. What he got busted for, he was over there in Africa dealing in black diamonds. And the white folks say, let's take him down. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's over here messing with something. And let me tell you something else that nobody has. You see these mega churches that black folks have?
Right.
Mega churches that's like, 30, 40, $50 million. If General Motors can't get along, how some preacher, most of them ain't never been there, they going to go to a bank and get that kind of money? Where do you think that money's coming from? British intelligence, okay?
Oh, wow.
All right? All right? And so we sit here and things that they tell us to go along with, we go along with. Things they don't tell us to go along with, we don't go along with it. And so you get somebody like Cat Williams. I mean, Cat Williams, who is Cat Williams, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who is he? Some jive entertainer that gets high every other day. Brilliant comic, okay? Brilliant comic.
Mm-hmm.
So who listens to a damn comic over anything but they act, huh? Who listens, huh? And so consequently, that means nothing. But I bet, what did you say about Tyler Perry's movie? You heard anything he said about Tyler Perry?
Not that I know of. I'll probably pull up something.
That's what I'm saying. He might have. A white racist system will go out of there. Let me tell you why slavery embarrasses America. And what Hitler did to the Jews don't embarrass America because Americans don't feel responsible. In America, Americans feel responsible for what happened. Oh, I can't believe this happened in our country. Like I told you the other day, black folks, a horrible crime's committed. You hear a lot of that, oh, I hope it wasn't black. I hope it wasn't Negro. Well, who do you hope he was? You didn't say God. I hope it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you stop and think about this whole game, and like I was saying, kidneys, what knocks them out? Fear, paranoia, anguish. What cools them out? Awareness and gentleness. Thank you for your show, man.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness, huh? Liver, cirrhosis of the liver. 98% of black folks die from cirrhosis of the liver have never had a drink in their life. What causes it? Anger, rage, depression, huh? Okay? What cools it out? Kindness and balance, huh? Kindness and balance. Huh? Lung cancer. What's the number one cause of lung cancer? Grief, sadness, shame, huh? Did you hear me? More people die in America from lung cancer from grief than smoking cigarettes. The last 12 years of Coretta Scott King's life, she never ate no cooked food. What she died from? Grief. I used to hear old black folks saying, she just grieving herself to death. You ever heard that?
Mm-hmm. That's it. Even Christopher Reeve, right? The Superman wife died of lung cancer. Superman wife, Christopher Reeve, and she never smoked. People say she never smoked. Grief, grief, grief. What wipes grief out? Courage, righteousness, love, and being lovable. And so when you stop and think about, all this stuff about spatterod and spalding, nobody hears a child but a fool. But try to explain that to black folks. Try to explain that to black folks. Huh? You got folks wouldn't hit their dog. Huh? And wouldn't nobody go outside and because their car is acting up and take a bat and hit their car. So when you stop and think about all of the stuff that's fixing to change, that's fixing to change, and then a lot of people won't be able to handle the change. A lot of people will not be able to handle the change. I remember I was born before TV. We used to sit around and listen to tap dance on the radio. You know how dumb you got to be to listen to a tap dance on the radio? I mean, do you know how dumb you have to be to listen to a tap dancer on the radio? And so anyway, you sit, and the one thing is getting good discussion. But when you see the people,
what's his name? The Bill Dukes. He's mad at it. See, when you have people who know the industry, who know the industry, then what is this about? What is this about? There was no black person there that had a job that wasn't dignified, like Samuel Jackson. He played the role so well. You walked out there and said, wow, man, what's that, brother? And so that's the game. But a black woman and a black man in a love story.
What about the black women who complain about the portrayal of the black woman in the story?
In what story?
Yeah, Django, like from the black women I talked to her.
I thought they were talking about Halle Berry. Of the black woman was a slave, huh? Well, listen, I would like to see the black women that's doing that. Let me tell you something. Black women are 4%, 6% of America's population. 98% of 98% of the women in America that have strange kind of cancer, 98% of that is black women. Why? Perms. That's where fibroid tumors come from. Perms. 98% of women in America of black women have perms. The other two, the next highest percentage is Jewish women. What they have in common? Nappy hair. So I can blame everything on white folks. One thing I can't blame on white folks, and I'm not honest enough to blame it on God. God gave me nappy hair. God gave me my wide nose. God gave me my black face. Everybody complained about the word nigga. You ever had a show? You ever had anybody call in and want to do a show about that yellow thing? About how black folks feel about yellow women? Not all of them, but most of them. Right now in New Orleans, as we talking, they got brown bag parties. You ever heard about that? Brown bag parties?
Yes, sir.
They put a brown bag up to the door. If you come through and you darken in the brown bag, you can't come in, and they still accept that, but they're worrying about nigga. Nigga? I can never be a nigga. If I say right now, all you hoes out there, stand up. You get upset, you're a hoe. I didn't call your name. How can you be upset if somebody call you a nigga, but don't get upset if they call you a billionaire? Well, you know you'll never be a billionaire, but you got doubts about being a nigga. So that's a game. Didn't we tell the gays the problem with you all, y'all don't hide, come out the closet, right? Kennedy, Joseph Kennedy, we found out that he had a girl born mentally retarded, and they took her out of society and put her in a home and kept her there for the rest of her life. Hide. And not until JFK brought that out the closet did we have laws dealing with mental health. Did we have laws dealing with mental health? You don't hide nothing. You bring it out. And so consequently, they say when the gays come out the closet, things change for them. Cops, they could be cops. Cops stop brutalizing because they get in trouble. But they telling me to take the word nigger and put it in the closet. Go to hell, So what is this about, And so take President of the United States, Barack Obama, and let him go to New York tonight, unrecognized, and he won't be able to get a cab,
Right.
And so we want to believe it's this and it's that it's not. What it is, we accept being treated less than a human being. If you was a doctor, got to be easy with this now. If you was a doctor with 5 PhDs, and you driving down the street with a black woman in a Rolls Royce, and you hear a siren, you look through the mirror, you see this police car flashing out, uncontrollable, you will squeeze the steering wheel, And when that car passed by, you say, thank God, nothing, that wasn't even after you, that's in your head until that gets flushed out, You're going to have problems with things that's not even problems, until that gets fleshed out.
Yes, sir.
That whole game. And so, well, sister said, betrayed her different. When you look at all the holy stuff they reduce a black woman down to on the record, and them black women is standing out. I know the ones that's calling in, they not. Like I know white folks that call in, and everybody's a racist, but them, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's a game. That's a game. And you see it getting over and over and over because that thinking is becoming, you never know, they don't have problems with white images. White images, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I walked in the shopping mall the other day, and all I saw was white Santa Claus. Huh?
Mm.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, huh? You know who invented the pagans, huh?
Mm.
That's why you heard of pagans, right?
Yes, sir.
But you never heard nobody tell you where they're from, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They're from Africa. And what white folks did is took paganism and changed it to white and called it Christianity. Huh?
Mm.
And they got Africans over there saying, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Well, they don't even get no snow, man. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, huh? Santa.
Brother Gregory, also, I know, I want to ask you, like, is it what you told about the shape-shifting, the origins of what a Tom is that the reason why Danny Glover is having a hard time trying to get financing for the movie trying to make about the Haitian Revolution?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because all these folks complaining about Quentin Tarantino, how come Spike Lee and so many other folks rally around him to get this movie made? That you've been trying to do for years.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what a Negro is. Hmm?
Mm.
That's what Negro, that's what that mentality is. Hmm? That's what the mentality is. Huh? Hey, man, my daughter's dating this guy. Woo, do he have some good hair? Did God make the hair, or did somebody downtown make it? So how is one hair God made good and another hair God made that ain't good? Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the game. That's the game. And I'm just so happy to be talking to you on the King Holiday Festival. Yesterday, when that story broke big that you put out there to take with you.
Yeah, I was even thinking about that. I mean, that's the universe, huh?
On King Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now watch how Uncle Tom works, even when you don't know. They gave King a statue here on the mall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the anniversary day of opening it up nationally, people had sneak preview, was August the 28th.
Right.
And then there was an earthquake, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they changed the date to October 16th.
I believe it was a hurricane, too. They were thinking about the hurricane coming through.
It was two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And October the 16th, they changed it, was the anniversary of John Brown's raid of Harper's Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
That's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Minister Farrakhan, Million Man March, October 16th. The capital of the United States. At the top of it, there's an Indian at the top. Who put it there? Abraham Lincoln. What was the official anniversary? December the 2nd. What happened to that anniversary? That's when they hanged John Brown. Huh? You think Abraham Lincoln didn't know what he was doing? You think he didn't know what he was doing? But as long as you don't know. You saw the movie Lincoln, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you see that comment he made about his hair?
Yeah, that was funny. I was laughing real hard at that.
Yeah, it wasn't funny. His daddy was a black man, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? He wasn't born in Illinois. He was born in Kentucky. Came out of one of them holy roly groups, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right? And Lincoln was gay. The guy he lived with was a black man. You mean all these white historians? If they knew Obama was gay, they would say it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what that innuendo at the last of the movie when he was going to the theater. Remember he was walking out the door?
Right.
And the black butler ran to him with his gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked around and Lincoln had left his gloves and he went to catch him and said, all that innuendo, those are significant.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you stop and think about, the what is it? The Tin Man. What's that movie?
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz. That's about the Kansas City Federal Reserve. Huh?
Mm.
Did you hear me? The
Yes, sir.
Kansas City Federal Reserve, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, is about child abuse. Okay.
Mm.
So when you break through and get through the code, altogether different ballgame. And so let me say this. King, 50 years ago, I'm saying it different. 50% of every American that's born in America today was not alive when King was killed. 70% of the world was not alive when King was killed.
Mm-hmm.
The number one figure in the history of this planet is going to be Dr. Martin Luther King. What about Jesus Christ? That's with Christians.
Mm-hmm.
This man transcends all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you got 3 million Japanese come from Japan, not live here, every year to visit King's grave in Atlanta. And I listen to you Negroes that live in Atlanta and never been there, and how many of you black folks have carried your children to Disneyland to see a rat, but they never carried them to visit King's grave,
right.
And you think somebody have respect to listen to you. And if King hadn't died, you would not be welcome in Orlando, Florida. So that's who I got to listen to, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I listen to you because I respect you, but I don't hear what you're saying, huh?
Mm.
So this is a game. Black on black crime. Yeah, what kind of fool are you? If we go to China tonight, who you think is killing Chinese in China? We go to Italy tomorrow. Who you think killing Italians in Italy? If 98% of all white folks was murdered in America last year was murdered by white folks, if they ain't talking about white on crime, how you stupid enough to talk about black on black crime? You kill where you live.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you stop and think about what you don't know, is at night while you sleep. Huh? At night while you sleep, the government flies in the neighborhood and sprays. Hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Lead and manganese. When I was a little boy, we'd be out playing, and when you was growing up, you had a mosquito truck come through, and everybody had to run. They said, no, that was chemicals, man. That was chemicals. That wasn't spraying in the white neighborhood. If you go out in the white suburbs when it snows, right, you see brown stuff. You know why? They don't throw salt. Because when salt melts, it goes into the water stream, and everybody that got high blood pressure who ain't supposed to have salt, they don't know they're getting it every time they turn the water on. You go out where the wealthy people live, they use sand, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And so consequently, this article didn't run in no American paper. Listen to this. Crime linked to pollution, huh? Black folks, polluted water can cause brain damage that turns ordinary people into violent criminals, black folks. So you think it's your blackness, huh? You think them children are just trifling, huh? Who said that? Roger Masters of Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire, compared crime figures from the FBI with information on industrial discharge of lead and manganese. He found a link between pollution levels and murder, assault, and robbery. Counties with the highest pollution level has a crime rate triple the U.S. average. Okay, so we sitting out there with our stupidity that has been manipulated, and we don't know what they're doing. But they got time to look at a movie and say, "Oh my God, the black woman! Look at that! Come on, y'all." When you go see a Nazi movie, the German soldiers dressed in Nazi uniform, because they represent Hitler. Even if they're gonna play games with it, Even if they're gonna play games with it. I'm so glad for shows like this. Although I pulled out before there were shows like this here. I go to the movie when I was a little boy and see the cowboys and Indians and pull for the cowboys, and not realize I'm looking at the Indian, I'm looking at myself, I go to the movie and see Tarzan and the Tarzan and the elephants, and when they send them into to thousands of apples, I'm pulling for the elephants. That's how stupid. So don't think I was born this way. I wasn't born this way. I just done this most of the rest of you all listening to this trifle racist stuff. Going to school with an all-black school and everything in the book is white. Everything in the book is white.
Right.
I didn't see nothing in that book that looked like me. Nothing in that book that looked like me. And now I saw slavery for the first time. You see, that stuff in Sandy Hook, those people, if you and I was cops or first responders and saw that, there's a possibility that we'd have to go get treatment, clinical mental treatment, right?
Right.
If we saw it on television, we don't have to. There's something about visually seeing it makes a difference than reading it. When I went to the movie, I saw slavery for the first time. I didn't know about the chain gang, how it tears into your legs and your ankles. I didn't know how a white dude can get two black men to fight each other to death. I didn't know. I've been knowing that's a sex thing. But I saw it in the room. He didn't have no friends over. Like he did for people. That was his private little sex thing to see these black men stealing, beating, brute force. He wanted that, for himself. And then the sister, the one that never was dressed like a slave, in the brown outfit, the little hole sitting there, that was his thing, baby. That was his thing. But ain't no sisters that I know of, I'm sure there are, that's talking about how he was having an affair with his sister, the white boy, They so busy talking about the woman, and haven't said one word about that black hole sitting back there, dressed up. She, in the room, he wasn't even looking at her when he's looking at his sex tape. She's behind him, She's behind him. What the game is, I understand, and I say this again. It didn't work. They told us that Muslims hated white folks, Muslims this and that, and then a black person I know will go the other way when they see a Muslim. Muslims didn't run out the neighborhood. They stayed there. And yet, there's a whole lot of people who would never take a picture of a Muslim on the corner and take it to work and show it to. There's a whole lot of people whose children are Muslims, but they would never let nobody know on the job. But I'll let my boss know I'm Christian, even if he's Jewish. I'm Christian. I got a Christmas card for you. All that is about to change, and you'll be one of the spokes that helped it happen. You don't have to get your name mentioned. When the universal God uses you, it leaves no footprints. Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to look up who you are in the New York Times or Time Magazine or this and that. But the work you did and put out there went all over the world yesterday. And people was calling me just in tears, man. It's just so nice to see something like that happen, So now they want black folks now, black folks that don't do no of mention, The reason we are where we are now is Emmett Till's mother. Death is personal, If you had a son, if I was your son, and I got murdered trying to rob somebody or shoot out with the cops, that's embarrassing to the family. So y'all put me in a new suit, new this, new that. Y'all ain't heard from me in 11 years. But death is personal. We don't like to see the negative side. That's why we get you a haircut, new shoes, coffin, and all of that. Girl, wasn't that a wonderful funeral? They don't say the person in the coffin was wonderful. Okay? Now, Emmett Till's mother broke that. And she said, no, I want the world to see what they did to my son. She did that, And in Chicago, 500,000 people showed up to the funeral with an open coffin, and 300,000 either fainted or needed smelling salts, and that changed the world. That changed the world. The world now will see what slavery is like. The world will see, nigga. Y'all don't want to see it. The world didn't say it. Then for the first time, they'll know what we went through. Because all they see is successful Negro. I ain't nothing wrong with that. Successful Negro. They don't see. Take me from Africa and reduce me down to something below human, and y'all don't want to see it because you still got that vibration locked into your belly. Okay? You still will go to war for this boy, but won't come back and deal with police brutality. What do you think of the thousands of black cops? You ain't never turned on the news and see a white family crying over this white cop shot their son in the back 40 times. But out of 1,000 cops, how have you never seen, like I said, a white family saying this black cop shot my loved one for that? You think black cops is more spiritual? Better say no. Black cops don't do that because they know white folks won't tolerate it. And when you stop tolerating it, it will stop. Okay? And the last thing I want to say is this. Y'all redo Sandy Hook, okay? Redo, Newtown, okay? And ask yourself something that nobody's told her. They ain't even tried to speculate it. Why would some human being go in and line up little bitty children and blow them away? Nobody's even said, I wonder what the reason is, huh? You ain't heard nobody speculate. I mean, this here, you got people go in and do this, they're crazy, they're mad, they do this, they do that. But what is it? And they don't want to deal with that. And if you dealt with it, you might find out there's more happened there than you thought it was. Why? I saw the coroner come out that day when the press said, what were their genders? He said, I don't know. And the press looked at him and said, you don't know? Have you been in there? And if you see the picture of that, you see him acting all kind of strange. Another thing that don't nobody know and ain't nobody telling us, they ain't found that automatic weapon they talking about. How am I commit suicide and then get rid of my weapon after I kill myself? Huh? Come on, huh? And nobody saw them bring them bodies out of there. Nobody saw them bring them bodies out. Well, why are you snipping them out in the middle of the night? What are you hiding, huh? What are you hiding? And so, I think I mentioned on the other show that we got the scanner, the police scanner, where you hear the cops saying, we got one in the car, and we got one, we bringing out, he's on the ground now, we're putting handcuffs on, we're bringing, here's another one running with a gun. Okay? I know this, and the New York Times don't know it. And so, again, I say thanks to everybody that participated in making that movement. And at least I've got to walk in a movie and walk out with a whole difference in my DNA. With a whole difference in my DNA. And I just say thanks to everybody and to all the people that's going to see it because it raised you to another level. Now I know what they're talking about. All the stuff I read, didn't show me what my eyes showed me of slave, of throwing a sister in a hot sweat thing because she tried to get free. And that's how we go all over the world trying to liberate people, but the black sister was trying to get free. And the one thing Harriet Tubman said on her dying bed, the one regret I have, I wasn't in Harper's Ferry to die with John Brown. And they've never made a movie, a decent movie of John Brown. That'll be next. And when the white folks who hanged him said, he lived in New York, this happened in Virginia, he said, we'll never let his body get back there. They'll never make a hero out of him. And black men lined the highway from Virginia all the way up to that little town in New York, shoulder to shoulder, and said, try it, Black men, lined that highway of the route they was taking him, okay? Shoulder to shoulder. Said, okay, punk, try it, You try it. And that's the only reason his body got back. They did everything they could, but you didn't have nothing to do with making him a hero. Had it not been for him, it wouldn't have been a civil war. And when the Civil War broke out, the Union soldiers wasn't singing, God bless America, America the beautiful. They were singing, John Brown's body is a molding in the grave. John Brown's body is a molding in the grave. Glory, glory, hallelujah. That's what they were singing. Huh? That's what this was about. And had it not been for these steps, when I talked to Rosa Parks, and I asked her, I said, come on, girlfriend, tell me something, man. Pretty little old feet. Don't tell me your feet was tired. Tell me, girlfriend, what gave you the courage to do that? You know what she said to me? She's almost like unconscious. She said, I just couldn't get the picture of Emmett Till out of my head. Huh? Something that sparked one of the greatest revolutions in the history of the planet. Because a mother had the courage to say, let them see what they did to my boy. And here's this woman, had that in her head and said, I can't take it no more. So when you stop and think about it, you know, and one day they'll show the 5 men that went on the raid. And I think I told you the other day, one of them was
Benjamin Newby. Yeah, that was a sad story. It was a powerful story, but it was a sad story, too.
Yep. And it was a love story.
Yeah, it was a love story. It was most important.
Yeah. What they were saying. No, fine. And so, again, you got any more questions you want to ask?
Yeah, I want to ask you about your friend, brother Steve Coakley. We lost him last year. I always wanted to ask you. I always slipped my mind to ask you about him. But what are your thoughts about brother Steve Coakley and the work he's done? Okay.
What? If he wasn't doing nothing, they wouldn't have killed him. No, he was. What a brother, man. What a brother. And see, the difference between me and the rest of researchers, black and white, I got a career over here. So I don't have to live day to day just with the research and no outlets, huh? The same way with the civil rights movement. Them people down there, they was there every day. I just flew in every now and then. When I went in, I went to jail. But I wasn't there every day, 24 hours a day, huh? So, no, we, and most folks wouldn't put him on the radio. Black folk wouldn't put him on because white folk didn't want him. And if you got a radio station and you owe your money to the bank, you got to be careful about what you do.
Right.
That's why the professor at, what's the great black professor at Howard University? At Harvard when they...
Skip Gates.
Huh?
You're talking about Skip Gates, yeah.
Gates. Now, go back to the night he came back. That happened the night he came back from China. You're aware of that, right? Now, a neighbor across the street, see a Negro carrying boxes into his house. Now, at what point do you suspect somebody's robbing, taking stuff in the house and not bringing stuff out? You know what that was about?
What was it about?
He brought 40-some boxes back with him. That was the CIA and the FBI setting up a situation where they could get him out the house so they could go in and check them boxes out. What is this Negro bringing back from China? That's what that was about. Now, when I heard him come out and say something negative about, Django, I can't understand it, but at least I know why. He at Harvard University, man. He can't let them white folks know he enjoyed that. He can't let them white folks know he enjoyed that. Kill all them white folks with kill. And also, he's the first dude of substance that blew the whistle on what's the guy who wrote Alex Haley. And Alex Haley hadn't wrote none of that. I was out there doing it because I don't care what you think of me. I know he didn't write it. The senior editor of Playboy magazine, Murray Fisher, wrote all of that stuff. Okay. And if you punch up on your computer, Harry Hollander, who wrote one of the best books on Africa called The African, a white boy, Kunta Kinte came out of his book word for word. Huh?
Oh, wow.
And if you check out the trial in upstate New York, where a federal judge made the publisher and Alex Haley pay him $650,000 and then chastised, made him apologize to him in the court, and the judge said, I worked a lot of these cases, but I never saw anybody take something word for word like you have. And
you know what?
Yeah.
I would say, like with Tarantino, he said that he said that Django was better than Roots, and a lot of people got mad about that. He said Django Unchained was better than Roots.
It was. It was. Okay. It was definitely good. Huh? So at least we know where it come from.
Mm-hmm.
When that Luther Kender got that book, he couldn't hit that white boy.
Mm-hmm.
So who cares? Now, when you doing the truth, you know how many people got mad at Jesus?
Mm.
They killed King. Did he make you mad? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you gonna pick who you gonna be mad at and who you not, because you don't understand. I just told you just now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I think you should do, if we don't have the time now, listen, you got your computer sitting in front of you?
Yes, sir.
You got it in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Then punch up the federal courts in upstate New York, punch up Harry Hollander, who wrote The African and the case. It is right there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All that crap he was doing wasn't nothing but lies. Huh? Wasn't nothing but lies. That somebody else wrote the truth, but he didn't write it. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't write it. So who did that white boy care about you getting mad at him? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? Huh? He don't.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? They've
That's
always
right.
been mad at him. They was mad at him before he did that movie.
Mm. Yeah.
That's him. And he'll tell you, you know, he was raised, mama was a lesbian and living with a woman. He was raised in that atmosphere, so he ain't got all the hang-ups and hooks y'all got on y'all. Y'all do all that stuff, a lot of you, but you hide and do it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You hide and do it, huh? And so consequently, nobody cares about, like I told you, when I told people the first 8 presidents was black men, huh? Like I cared. Well, the people who love George Washington, they just think that's all. Let them. Who cares? Huh? Who cares? So that's where we're going, man. I mean, it's lovely. It's a lovely ride, man. I'm just so happy. I don't know what to do. And I'm happy now. I mean, I was a celebrity, so I was able to write books. I'm the one released the picture. I want y'all to hear this good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one released the picture with Ron Brown with the bullet in the back of his head. Huh? And they couldn't deny it. You know why?
Why?
Because the white folks that did the autopsy brought them to me. Huh? Now, here was my problem. I cried. They said, you okay, Mr. Gregory? Yeah. I said, I'm crying because 7 white folks. Your next promotion will be a general, and you will never make that. I know. I don't say I don't know. I know that if I was in your position and the Attorney General was a white man and we saw a bullet, I don't know if I would put my career on the line. Okay? On the line. That you all have, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I don't know if you can find that. Do it on one of your next shows. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
A woman by the name of Grace Stevens. Uneducated, snaggletooth, cold redneck, living in a flop house with an old ignorant white boy.
Right.
That in 21 years, it beat her up so bad that she had to go to the county hospital or the city hospital 19 times with broken bones or fracture. That's the atmosphere this white woman lived in. When King was shot, and you saw the people on the balcony pointing up, that was the wrong way. If me and you was on the balcony and a shot rang out, we're going to hit the floor. How did they know it wasn't going to be another shot? But we don't want to talk about how many black folks was involved in that, huh? Now, what we looked at was when James Earl Ray was arrested in London at Heathrow, a jailbreak. He wasn't arrested for killing King. Jailbreak. And when we had to bring him back over here, the different laws, the law in England, you want to extradite somebody over, you have to give us 2 guarantees. 1, they cannot get the electric chair because we don't believe in it. And 2, whatever you give us the papers you wanted for, you can't try him for nothing else. They didn't have in the papers he was wanted for killing King. So now they got the government. So they go to Grace Stevens and said, we would like for you to identify this man that killed King. And they showed her the picture of me out the hospital. She said, that's not the man that ran past me. They came back the next day and said, you understand. It's homicide. We didn't ask you. We telling you. She said, I'm going to tell you again, that's not the man. I want you black folks to hear this, huh? Hear this of this poor, redneck white woman who can't read or write, huh?
Mm-hmm. So
then they left. And they said to her husband, who's downstairs drunk, said, hey, baby, where's your Rolls Royce? The Cadillac said, what do you mean? He said, you know, your wife. All she got to do is admit that James Earl Ray, this man here, was the one who ran past her, and y'all be flushed in money. He ran upstairs and asked her about it. She said it wasn't him. He beat her up and left her unconscious. Police downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Came back 2 days later. 7 Memphis detectives, 4 FBI agents said, Grace, get your cat and coat. Let's go. They carried her 11 miles away to a mental hospital. Now, if you was running the mental hospital and detectives, homicide, and FBI, why would you think they lying? They said, we want to let's bring her here for her own health. She thinks she witnessed Dr. King's murder, and she's paranoid and suicidal. So they committed her. Now, while she's there, they get to the husband and say, but here's what we can do. It's $33 million. Well, no, it's $30,000 now, but eventually it'll go up to $3 million. You say you saw it, identify this, and then you get it. And that's what happened. Now, you can find this in court. They never paid him, so he went to court and told him what they got him to do. Huh? Meanwhile, 11 years later, me and some crazy white boys sitting over in Budapest having us a ball, and I got to tell them the most fascinating story I'd heard of this white woman. That's in the mental hospital 11 years today, but she refused to say James Earl Ray was the man. So what the white boy, he drunk. He said, come on, let's go get out. And these are thugs. Let me tell you, these are thugs. These are assassins, huh? You hear me? And so I said, okay, man, let's do it. So we planned the day. I get down to Memphis. And it dawned on me, I'm the only black. I said, no, man, I ain't going. So we get caught. I'm the one going to get the electric chair. So I said, I'm going back. Matter of fact, tomorrow's Mother's Day. I'll go home and people know why. So I leave. Let me tell you, these guys, when they pull off a job, they knew they get the blueprint. They know every brick in the building, every door in the building. They know how to get in and get out. So that night, they went in. They get in there, got a flashlight, see their way in. They get in her room. They put that flashlight in her face. You know her first word she said after 11 years of being there? I tell you now, but I tell you then, that's not the man. Huh? Okay. So you black folks, your little funny thing, not all of you, but most of you, that feel this and feel that. Think about that white, nigger-hating white woman, huh? When something happened that was so big, huh? White folks couldn't make her lie over somebody that she probably didn't like. Then you know how the world changed. Not with your perverted bull crap. This woman, huh? These white folks that brought, I don't know, they don't need no special credence because you can do that when you're born free, huh? I know why a lot of us don't do that. We got a perverted mentality because of slavery. But they lost their job. All of them. And I'm the one released the pictures with the bullet. It never was a plane wreck over there in Boston. They killed all them people because Ron Brown was going to come back and tell some some stuff at the grand jury about Clinton and some money that came in from China. So that's all I got to say. You didn't see that case, did you?
Oh, well, it came out eventually when Al Gore was running for president, all that connection with the administration.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, thank you, brother, and I just appreciate what you put out there. The world would be a better place because of you and folks like me and you and Kennedy. And did you see the story that came out last Sunday where one of Robert Kennedy's children said Robert always believed there was more people behind killing his brother, but he came from a billionaire family, but he never said it. But you got people like King and me and the brother. What's the brother you just mentioned?
Steve Coakley.
Us, born in poverty, put our life on the line to make this world a better place. And the Kennedys, with all them billions, now 50 years later, his son comes out there. My dad never believed. Come on, y'all, please. Thank you, babe. Love you and thank you. You haven't seen how many hits that piece got you put out there yet, have you?
How many hits?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's in the tens of thousands. You know, people have.
No. As of today, at noon, it got 57,000. So how many is now?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, thank you, babe. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, love you. I'm out of here.
I love you, Brother Dick. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.